Yeah, I mean, the worries about Joe Linton are significant. He left the field in tears last night, and he's such a massive player for them. Massive player for them.
You talk about balancing the team, balancing that particular section of their team. They have got a lovely balance, haven't they? Guimarães and Tonali and Joe Linton. That'll be a problem. I know Lewis Miley come on, Jacob Ramsey as well. You got one or two, but he's a big player for them.
Yeah, I think it's important to take some positives as well from a Newcastle perspective, because they were absolutely brilliant on the night. And yes, they might have lost Joe Linton and Gordon suspended and Tonali, but Jacob Ramsey came on, did really well when he came on. Will Osula took his goal superbly. I thought, great run. Lewis Hall was back as well and looked as good as ever. Joe Willock's back too. So, it's not all doom and gloom. I know there's
far from it. I mean, you can
who's going to score the goals, but
I'll tell you, I'll say to you, they've got 1 point from their opening 2 games, and they should have more. They should have a lot more. So you sometimes don't get what you deserve in football, and I think that's certainly been the case in Newcastle's first 2 performances in the league.
Yeah, differing opinions over that Anthony Gordon challenge on Virgil van Dijk. Gordon's manager Eddie Howe defended him.
I've only seen it once, very quickly as the game was playing. I felt, yes, he's gone in full-bloodedly and probably was going in too quickly. I think he's tried to stop his challenge and stop his momentum, but couldn't in time. So I think it looks bad, but I don't think there's any intent or malice in there. I feel really sorry for Anthony because it's the second time in quite quick succession he got a red, but I think this one's unlucky on his perspective.
Was he unlucky, Coisty?
He's not unlucky with the decision, right? Because it's a red card. But I think Eddie's spot on. The first thing you got to say, Eddie protecting his player and sticking up for his player. Absolutely, he always does it, and so he should. You're not publicly going out and criticise them. Where I think he means he's unlucky is, like I said before to you, Jeff, I think he's going into the challenge and he's halfway through the challenge and he realises, I'm late here and I shouldn't be making this challenge, but unfortunately the damage is done. So he's unlucky in that respect, but I don't think anybody could argue with the actual the award of the red card, because I think it is a red card. And I take your point as well. I mean, he catches Van Dijk, and Van Dijk doesn't roll about and doesn't scream in agony and give it 4 or 5 rolls over. He knew he'd been fouled, showed him his leg, and there was no aggression from Van Dijk. I just thought it was, once you had a look at it, I thought it was a pretty straightforward decision. But I understand where Eddie's coming from by saying he's unlucky, because I think getting into the challenge, he realises at the last minute too late, and there's nothing he can do about it. That's what's unlucky about it. The actual decision after that isn't.
Let's head to the phone lines. Kenny is a Newcastle fan. Morning, Kenny.
Good morning, Kenny.
Morning, lads. You all right?
Yeah,
fine, mate.
Yeah,
fine, mate.
Thanks, mate. Let's ask you about Gordon's challenge first of all. Are you on the side of those who thought it was a red?
Yeah, I mean, before I just mentioned that, I just want to say, the boys last night, they played their hearts out, and Bruno was exceptional.
Yeah.
I was really proud of the performance.
Completely agree.
Especially going down to 10 men and still dominating like we were. To lose in the last minute was awful, but that's football.
But as far as the red was concerned, you reckon it was a red?
Yeah, it was a reckless challenge. It didn't need to be made. I mean, it was a lot, I don't know, lads. It was just a pointless challenge. He made that run all the way from the left to the right, which was a complete waste of energy anyway, because there was other players there. I mean, it could have been avoided. I feel
his first 2 performances in the league.
Yeah, but you know what is really positive? The team itself, we've got a really good team there, really good squad. The energy, you cannot fault the energy. We're always full of it. We always take the game to the opposition. But the massive gap that we've got is we have not got somebody to put in the back of the net, and it's just glaring.
Would you welcome them back, Kenny, if they can come together, management and the player? Would you welcome them back?
I mean, what I'll say is I back Eddie Howe, no matter what he decides.
Yeah, good on you.
If he thinks that Isak's the right man to come back and do a job, I completely back him. So if he decides it's right, then yeah, I'm all for it.
Kenny, thank you very much indeed for your
Cheers,
call.
Mate.
By the way, I haven't really mentioned Fabian Schär, of course, who was taken off on a concussion sub came on, which means he can't play under concussion rules. He can't play against Leeds. He'll be a big miss as well because he's another one who wears his heart on his sleeve.
Come on, I'm trying to think. Was Sven Botman on the bench, was he?
Botman was on the bench. He's fit enough to be on the bench, but the new signing came on, didn't they? Schär.
Yeah, he did. That's right.
Did okay as well. Did okay. Philip's a Newcastle fan. Morning, Philip.
Good morning, Philip.
Morning, lads. You all right?
Well, mate. What did you think last night, and what do you think of your team so far, my friend?
It was a great game. I thought they played really well. If I'm honest, I think it was a very emotional performance. I don't think I think it's going to cost me. If I'm honest, it's great to see your team try, and it was brilliant, and obviously the crowd sucked them along and all that stuff. But we're now in a position where we still lost. Anthony Gordon's banned for 3 games. Joe Linton and Tonali's probably going to be out for 2-3 months. We've still not got a striker. And now Fabian Schär can play against Leeds. So a game against Leeds away, which I would say we should go and win. I think we've made my life a lot more difficult than it needed to be. And I can understand how that game progressed like that. I was there. It was a brilliant atmosphere. But it wasn't really a rational performance. It was all about emotion.
Yeah, you're absolutely right, Philip. Thank you very much indeed for that. It was all about emotion. I mean, I can't remember. First of all, I can't remember a louder crowd in the Premier League.
But we predicted it, didn't we?
Any game, it was incredible.
And Newcastle's excellent performances against Liverpool recently, particularly the one at Wembley, was because they can fly out the traps, played with an intensity and a passion. And that wasn't the only reason that they beat Liverpool, but it was one of the main reasons. And Arne Slot recognised that before the game last night. I mean, it wouldn't have been a surprise to Arne Slot what greeted him at kick-off at St James's Park last night. Yeah. But because that is one heck of a place to go when the whole place is like that. And it's fantastic. I mean, we talk about... That's the one thing I just love about our game. You know, you get passionate like that. Yeah, I mean, you can argue about the quality and all, yeah, and it might not have been, in terms of quality, one of the best games we'll watch this season. But come on, the whole thing, the whole spectacle was brilliant.
It was riveting. It was riveting.
Yeah.
And it's not all doom and gloom for Newcastle. I know some Newcastle fans will think that this morning, but you've got a couple of new signings in, Ramsey and Chow, and I'm sure you're going to bring more in. And as I say, you've got Lewis Hall coming back, you've got Joe Willock coming back, you've got Sven Botman coming back as well. So the squad's going to be tested, the squad's going to be stretched. Not all doom and gloom. Very quick text. Don from Halifax says, I know Liverpool didn't play their best football last night. As we all know, the sign of a good team is getting the result over the line even when they play badly. I take a lot of confidence from that, as a few years ago we would have rolled over and would have been beaten under the same circumstances, and I think that's quite an interesting point. Liverpool showed a lot of resilience as well under an absolute onslaught. Let's hear from a Liverpool fan now who's given us a call. Matt is that Liverpool fan. Morning, Matt.
Morning, Matt.
Yeah, morning, guys. Thanks for an amazing show.
Thank you,
Matt.
Game. What a game.
Wasn't it?
All my days.
Wasn't it, mate?
I think it was a roller coaster last night, and I think if we go up against the top 4, we are not going to win this league. That's without a shadow of a doubt. I think you've spoken about it. Previous people have spoken about it. We're not going to get there. We need to settle down. Wirtz and connect here, the back there. What were they doing? Kanate didn't have a good game. Salah wasn't in it. But moving on from that game last night, I think if I was Isak last night watching that game, I'd be questioning where I want to go. I really would. And I think the sporting director at Newcastle looked at that, is going to be looking at that result last night and that performance of Newcastle, which was outstanding. Mm-hmm. He's going to be looking at it and going, flipping heck, we've got a chance here. I've got to throw everything at Isak to integrate him back in and get him to stay.
Interesting. Do you think the fans would accept him back, or we had one? I think it was Kenny, the Newcastle fan earlier. His reply when I asked him a question, Matt, was this. He said, if Eddie Howe decides to make that decision, I'll stick by my manager's decision. I'll support him.
Yeah, I completely agree with that fan. Eddie Howe is an amazing manager. He's done an amazing job with that team. Look at what he's accomplished. You know, it's not gone their way, so it's calmed down a little bit. I thought Bruno was a bit hot-headed at times last night. he needs to calm down a little bit. He was very antagonistic, but he was up for it. The passion was unbelievable. Gordon, I mean, it was a red without a shadow of a doubt. But it's his passion. His energy, the energy from that team and the stadium last night. It oozed out of the TV screen. It was incredible. If I was the sporting director at Newcastle, I'd be going flipping it. Let's give him a private jet. Let's give him whatever he wants to get him to stay.
Yeah, well, the Newcastle hierarchy went and talked to him at his home yesterday, so be interested to find out what the outcome of that is. Matt, thanks very much indeed.
Thanks for the call, Matt. Have a good day.
You're welcome. Have a good day, guys.
Thanks you.
talkSPORT Breakfast, waking you up Monday to Friday morning from 6 a.m. on AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.